Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom. Now before I begin, let me just go ahead and get this out the way. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider joining the family. Hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. Share the video, share with a friend, tell a friend, and also leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about this part 2 of the 90-day Fiancé the Other Way Tell-All part 2. Now, to be honest, I think they left off a lot from this tell-all, and they technically could have wrapped it up with a part 2 because part 3 is usually where the drama is. And 90 Day Fiancé, just saying, we're here talking, right, has so many different franchises that they do not need to stretch out these episodes with tell-alls or anything else. We can just go from the season to the tell-all to the next season, because they always have them right on deck, right? One after the other. So they don't have to stretch it out. This is not like other things that we watch and review on this channel that, can seem like it's on for months and months and months. We don't get anywhere and we have to wait and wait. So, but anyways, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, has been with the family. And thank you to everyone who's joined me. And thank you everyone that is watching on the replay. Hopefully everyone is doing well where you are. So let's see who's here. We have Tamika that's here. Hey girl, hey. And so if anybody else wants to say hello, feel free to put that in the chat or just give me a little virtual wave. I can feel the energy, right? So I'm just going to do a quick overview before I drop the link. Now I will say that this episode of the tell-all was, even though, like I said, they could have wrapped it up, was a little better than the first episode, but all the juiciness, I'm ready for next week so we can move on from this, right? Because we have other shows to watch, like 90 Day Love in Paradise, where there's going to be drama on tonight's episode, but we'll get to that at the end of this show. So let me just do a quick little overview, like I said. So we're back for part 2 of the tell-all, and we pick back up with Mahmoud, or is it Mahmoud? I can't do the accent the way it goes. Hey, Mona. Hey, Cynthia. He's carrying on, cussing, left his set in Egypt because Gabe and other cast members have gone in Mahmoud about the religion, like what happens if him and Nicole have kids one day, and what religion they're gonna be, and are you gonna force them to make it to be Muslim like he is and make a choice? I may have said this last week. If I did, excuse me, I'm gonna say it again. I think that was so out of line, out of place for Gabe to even put his 2 cents in and just pushing the issue with that. So I can see why Mahmoud got upset, right? Now, him getting upset and storming off, that just seems like it's something that his brother would do, right? Because his brother seems like more worldly and more out there than Mahmoud. Mahmoud just seems like he's by the book, kind of. But Mahmoud is, walking around, and Nicole gets up. She tries to calm her man, her honey, her love, her darling, her sweetie, right? She's is really calm, really mellow about it. And, when you get upset in general, an umbrella statement, it's kind of hard sometimes to cut off being upset because you're just still dealing with the emotions of it. So the person that's talking to you, trying to get you to calm down, you may push that on them and they had nothing to do with it. Well, that's what happened with Mahmoud. I mean, he's yelling and carrying on at Nicole when Nicole didn't bring none of this up. She was answering the questions to the best of her ability, but she was trying to talk him down off the ledge, and her honey, her butterfly, her unicorn, her cotton candy decided that he was going to come back in and talk to the camera and refilm and everything. So I think that was awesome. Now, before I carry on with that particular conversation, you know what? Okay, so last week I had on the thing, little feathers and little fan with Debbie. That's in the trash now. See, now I see Debbie in a completely different light. Gabe and Debbie, in my opinion, need to mind their business. First of all, they act like they were the ones running the 90 Day Fiancé tell-all, right? Like they were in Sean's hosting seat, and they were constantly interjecting themselves into other couples' relationships. Now, to me, it didn't come across as like, given, like, oh, like a you really want to know a question. It came across as, this is my opinion, this is how I feel about it. I don't care how you feel. And I was just really taken aback with that. I really started to see Gabe in a different light. And I definitely saw Debbie in a different light too. And I'll touch back on Debbie in a minute when we get to it in a different light by something that she said, because I was like, wow, she really has her nerve. But Gabe, when, he recognized that perhaps maybe Mahmoud was upset with him, the whole time and everything. And did you notice Gabe kept making like little faces? He's made more faces than I've seen him make even when he was on his own little episodes on the show. And I was thinking to myself while I was watching, I was like, maybe this is one of the reasons why you, meaning Gabe, don't care for your sister Monica beating your business, because it looks like you're doing the same thing. So maybe you two are two peas in the pod when it comes to beating each other's business. Because like I was saying, like to me, this thing that he doesn't like about her, you're doing it too. And you're not doing it, in my opinion, in the right way. Like you're not intentionally asking questions of wanting to get knowledge. You're interjecting, you're being sarcastic, and you're pushing your agenda. So yeah, so I was like, maybe you get, you two are two peas in the pod when it comes to your sister. Anyways, let me read some comments. Jamaica, you say, definitely better than the first for the tell-all. Yes. And not his business, correct. And then Mona, you say, Nicole Mahmoud seemed very scripted. Yeah, I think there's something off with that too. But I mean, because Nicole just gives that mannequin effect, that artificial intelligence kind of look. So I think that's where it may seem like it doesn't seem like she is on the up and up. I don't think Mahmoud can fake it. I don't think so. Anyway, I could be wrong though. Tamika, you also say Gabe gave off messy broad vibes and David's a grandmother involved in everything. Gabe definitely gave off messy broad vibes, and I didn't care for that, period. And Cynthia, you say I don't care for Debbie. See, Debbie, she at one point in time got just like a little bit of like, oh, well, maybe, maybe she didn't know, and maybe she forgot, and maybe, I don't know, but she gets no more passes. Because just the things that she was saying gave a vibe I didn't care for, and I'm not going to speak on it. Got to read between the lines on that one. I just didn't like that at all. Mona, you say Debbie is getting publicity for her art. Have we really seen her art though? We've seen her antiques and her fashion. I don't know if we've seen her art. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if we even heard her poem that she's so into either. Anyway, so moving on to that. So Mahmoud is back. Sean stops for a moment so Nicole could get herself together because she's crying. She wants everyone in the world to be nice and kind to each other. This is what we need. We don't need all this strife. I get it, Nicole, but unfortunately, the world is the way the world is. And that's just how it goes. You either have to accept being with someone that might be looked at maybe politically on the other side where some people are concerned, or not. So she's got to make her decision with that. So Nicole did agree that it's hard talking to Mahmoud sometimes. I can see why. Not just culturally, but I mean, just Nicole wants to push her narrative as far as dressing goes, and Mahmoud is traditional where he doesn't want to do that. So I don't know how they can go farther along long-term relationship because she's not willing to bend dress-wise. I mean, we saw what she had on. So she has that on in the studio. And let's say he comes to America and she wants to wear, regular typical shorts that they sell here in the stores for anybody. And what if she likes the Daisy Dukes? Can you imagine if she puts on some Daisy Dukes? Oh my gosh. If she thought he flipped out just by comments of what religion your children are going to be, okay, wear some shorts. So that I can see them taking him over the edge. Mona, you say she makes and sells jewelry. We saw it in the beginning. She will have an Instagram now and get views. Yeah, and there's like little rumors that she might actually be coming to Pillow Talk or something like that. If you watch it, I watch Pillow Talk, and I am no longer interested of seeing Debbie and all her sayings and her whimsical chit chat and things like that, because she's giving off a vibe that's not sitting right. It's giving off a particular era vibe that I don't like anymore. So, anyways, now so it's back to the show. So it's Gabe and Isabel's turn, and Sean asked him about the bulge business because Gabe has a business for people who are transitioning so they can look like a man with the bulge in the pants or whatever, so they feel normal, right? Normalized. And so Sean asks, is Isabel a part of the business? Is she 50-50 or, what kind of partnership is this? They say that, she's an equal partner, things like that. I think that I could see Isabel now running the show. I think Gabe would give her carte blanche on that. But anyways, so then the whole point of this, of them and this, their relationship is Trey person that he met when he was there. Now, Trey, the first time we met him in Colombia, Isabel didn't like him. The first time we saw him a couple episodes ago, saying that, he likes to get girls, things like that, and Isabel don't like that. But my thing is this, if you trust your man, it shouldn't matter. But to me, that's an insecurity that Isabel is going to have to continue to deal with if she doesn't trust Gabe. But why did Trey get on the show? I mean, is this really your friend, Gabe? I mean, is he like a true friend? Because I don't think like a true friend would be like, oh yeah, he's in the club getting all these women. They just flock to him. They do this, they do that. And I'm like, come on. This is what you want to come on TV to say? Like, this is not making the case for Gabe. And it's definitely not making the case for you. So that means you can't, in my opinion, Gabe really can't tell Trey too much of anything personal, because Trey may turn around and tell Isabel just to be telling her, because he knows that Isabel doesn't like him and just that whole dynamic. I was like, no, I don't think he's really your friend. But anyways, let me read some more comments. Hello, Dolores. How are you? And Moni say, Debbie is fake, regardless of any other vibes, not interested. Right. And then everyone's saying hello to each other. And then I'm dropping the link in just a second. And then Gabe denies talking to other women, right? He denies. He's like, nah, I don't talk to other women. Like, they can come over or whatever, but, I'm with her and this is it. I have nothing to do with it. But I guess whatever point Trey was trying to make, I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Other than maybe, yes, women find Gabe attractive, but what was his point of the friendship and that dynamic? When I drop the link, or y'all in the comments, help me understand, because I didn't get it, and I just can't see one of my friends, if you're really my friend and good enough a friend to help bring you on the show, that you would like sell me out like that. Absolutely not. Tamika, you say he should have immediately followed out with Gabe, shuts it down. Exactly. So anyways, let's move to Generishi. So are they broken up or are they not broken up? So Jen all of a sudden has a wedding to go to. I mean, was his wedding in India? Because I didn't hear her say it was in India. And Rishi happened to be there. And I'm like, oh, so now you got your visa together. You're traveling back and forth now. Like you're now international, because it was like a 30-day kind of thing, right? So they just so happened to hook up at the wedding of the mutual friend. And so Jen was like, oh no, I stayed at a hotel, and Rishi stayed at, his apartment, whatever. And, even though we didn't stay together, I mean, we were intimate, whatever, or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Rishi co-signed for that. But you know what? They're just on two different pages. And I don't know. I just think that Jen knows deep down that Rishi is going to side with his family, even before Sean showed the clip of him siding with his family, that, he can't choose his family over her. And so, I don't know, I think Jen feels that maybe, like, if Rishi moved out of the family house, but she did say that he wanted her to come back there, and they would build a house on top of the roof of the family house. It's still a family house, right? Regardless of on the roof, the side, across the street. That he wouldn't still continue to be there for his family, and it would just be her and them against the world. I'm like, no, Jen, because he's already told you at least twice we saw on the show already. He's already told you. And you're still like, well, maybe. And I'm like, no, you cannot be this naive to Rishi. You can't be. Well, the cast, Debbie and all, are saying, Debbie and Gabe are saying again, like, how come you can't say? How come you won't say that they're married? How come this? How come that? And I'm like, why are they still interjecting their point as if they're in this relationship? But when Debbie said, or did she say it with him? Or did she say it with Chris? No, not yet. Anyways, let me jump to something else. So then we see her friends come. Myra and Randy, right? I'm thinking, oh, they get a guest spot. So even her friends, her close friends, didn't even know that she was getting married again. Hey, Sharon. It was news to them. So I guess you're not sneaking off, but I mean, is Jen technically sneaking off? She doesn't want to tell her business. Is she afraid that her heart's gonna get broken again? So she's not like, oh, hey, I'm going to India to a mutual friend's wedding, and by the way, I might see Rishi. I mean, just say what you mean. I mean, where else would you be? Why else would you be in India? Because that's where Rishi is, right? So, they're surprised that Jen came back over and everything like that too. And then when we see Rishi's family, again, the cast is pushing, mainly Debbie and Gabe are pushing, like, are you married? You want to get married, engaged? You need to say this, that, this, and that. Trying to push Rishi to say something I don't think he's ready to say. He said, yeah, eventually he feels like they can be married, but I don't think he wants that, but I think he knows that he can't have that because he's the oldest male, right? To move on, to carry on the line of the family, to get a wife, have some offspring, and do what he do for the tradition. And Jen is simply not in the age range and pretty much out of, I'm not saying that she can't have any because I don't know her business like that, but she's 48 as of the taping, so she's at least 49 pushing 50 now. So she's moving further out the age range of having babies. She might be able to have one if she haven't already started menopause, but one maybe. But the point is they want someone young, fresh, lively as a wife, and she just seems like, Jen just seems like this is just so new for her. Like, how is it new for you? That's the part I don't understand. I just look at her just like, you cannot be serious about this, Jen. Why are you trying to be like, well, your family or me? He's already chosen his family before, and I'm sure he'll probably do it again. So anyways, when the family comes on, he's finally pushed to say with the translators now that he wants to, regardless if they give the blessing, he's gonna marry her anyways. And the mom was like, no, we can't accept it, right? So Jen was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should believe that or not. His actions. I mean, who's gonna tell her? Who is going to tell her? I'm getting ready to drop the link before I continue because Jen is, I mean, what's the word for Jen? Is it delusional? Is it delusional with Jen, or is it just she really doesn't want to see what she don't want to see? And I think that the parents were really nice when they were saying, at least on camera, to her, saying like, maybe if you were like 6 months to a year, yeah, because then you'd be more viable to produce and have multiple offspring, things like that. But Jen knows what it is. She knows what it is. So let me read some more comments. Dolores, you say Rishi will stick with his family. Jen is aware. She is, but she acts like she don't want to recognize it. Cynthia says Rishi talks out of both sides of his mouth. He will not marry Jen, and he definitely does talk in circles. For real, he definitely does talk in circles. Are you ready backstage? Okay, I'm halfway through, so here we go. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy Monday. It's a lot
Happy Monday
with Rishi and Jen, so I decided to drop the link now. But before I continue, let me just jump you back to the front. I know I read your comments on the side with everybody else, but isn't Gabe and Debbie like showing their behind on this episode? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm really put off by this attitude of arrogance and whatever else they're showing.
Yes, and I know Gabe has transitioned, to a man, but he's definitely giving off broad vibes. Definitely giving off that messy, he still has estrogen in him, so we get that. It's the
Yeah.
DNA that makes him do those weird, head things and things of that nature. But it's like, dude, stop it. And then Grandma Debbie, she's that one grandmother that sits on that one neighbor in the neighborhood that sits on the porch and know everybody business and tell
Oh, definitely.
everybody everything. That's Debbie.
That's Debbie. Dolores says, "How are you feeling, ma'am?"
I'm
To me.
feeling so much better. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I saw that actually. I got a little bit of Geo earlier when I was at work earlier, and someone was saying that in his chat too. Like Gabe is because they use the word, and it's not from me. They use Gabrielle. I'm like, who is Gabrielle? And I was like, oh, they're talking about Gabe.
Oh yes, I saw that.
I was like, who? It took me. I'm like, who are they talking about? I'm like, who's on the show? I was like, oh, so
I don't want to say that.
that's
He's
not for me.
gay.
I'm just saying what I heard.
Yeah,
Because
I heard it too. I heard it too.
like, huh? But the point is, so when he was doing all that, the entire last tell-all, this tell-all, and I'm like, so you're doing exactly what Monica is doing to you, except you're projecting onto other people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I was like, I didn't like that about Gabe. I didn't like that. This don't have nothing to do with his marriage. I think his marriage for now is safe. I think they're in a decent relationship, but his personality now, not caring for it. Not caring for it. And Debbie has really fell from the sky for me. Like she's out of here for me. Like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pat Holcomb, hello, says, yes, Gabe still has some female mannerisms. And Dolores says Gabe definitely was doing too much.
Yeah, because a dude ain't gonna do that at all.
No. I think if my mood was there, I think my mood may have tried to fight. Because my mood
absolutely.
was mad. We've never seen my mood that mad. We've seen him get mad at Nicole. That's a different kind of mad. But the way he was at Gabe, yeah, I think I think my mood they needed to call security if he was there, like for real.
Exactly.
I don't see Gabe as a fighter, but I can see security taking off. What do we think about Trey? Like, what kind of friend is that? Don't come on TV. If I let you come on, like, yeah, we're gonna be on 90 Day Fiancé. You can be my sidekick. Whatever. Don't come on, tell me down the river, talk about, oh yeah, she got all kind of men over here. You know what I'm saying? If it was like,
yeah, you just don't say that. I mean, and he did. Okay, so but you follow it up with immediately. You say, but he always shut that down and he tell him he married or whatever the case it may be. But yeah, your friend, your true blue diehard A1 from day one friend will not disclose any of that.
Not. I was like, that wasn't the first time. That was the second time. I'm like, what type of? Okay, that's the wrong word. I was thinking vendetta. That's not the right word. What type of, I don't know, relationship does Trey and Isabel have that the reason they must really, really not like each other to keep throwing out little tidbits of information to keep Isabel's insecurities going around? Because no one would do that if they really your A1 day one. Nobody would do that.
Right.
So Cynthia says, Gabe was messy, but I was entertained by the faces he made. Dolores says, although it was interesting, Gabe gave too much information regarding his transition surgery. Yeah, he did give another master class. I understand they did have the topic about sex and things like that. I mean, he could have gave like a brief description, but we didn't.
Yeah, it was too much.
It was a little bit too much.
It was too much.
It was. They could have censored it, edited it out a little bit. But anyways, if Trey is looking for somebody to date and they watch this show, he could cancel that. So
he's almost like exactly giving off that vibe that since he's single, he want Gabe to be single with him.
Yes, exactly. All right, so now we're caught up with Jen and Rishi. So yeah, she got a 10-year visa now, right? Like
I think that's what she said.
Right, but so now she's a traveler. So now she's back and forth. Just so happens to be going to a wedding. She's sneaking off, in my opinion, because clearly, if her friends don't know, Does your family know? You just happen to be gone for like 2 weeks. And you just in India with a wedding, right?
Right.
So
Right.
if it was a wedding, you know what I'm saying? You know, well, they say you don't have to lie to kick it. If it was either a wedding or wasn't a wedding,
If you
just
just wanted to go get your wheels turned, that's fine. Go do it. You grown.
that's right. That's what her friend said. I can see you. You know, if you need to get something done, get something done. But
Okay.
I agree with the cast on this part. Rishi is always talking circles. Always.
So I don't know if I could. Every time I watch Dr. Phil,
Okay.
and he always say when he asks a question and they want to give a long answer, he's like, "This ain't no essay question," you know. So, and I always said, "I'm like, this is not an essay question. It's
Uh-huh.
yes or no." They don't need to ask him open-ended questions. They need to ask him yes or no questions.
I don't think he's
Bottom
even
line.
comfortable with answering yes or no questions because even though it came from some cast members, he still couldn't say yes or no. But I
Hmm.
think he couldn't say yes or no because the answer is really no when it comes to the
Right.
marriage. So he doesn't
Yeah.
want to hurt Jen's feelings. And as far as Jen goes, he's already told you when you were there the first time what his mother and uncle really thought about her being too
Hmm.
old and, you know, about his family being number one. What is the big surprise here? I don't
Right.
get still surprised, even though she went back for a little quickie.
Hmm.
And she's surprised. But I did not like when Debbie called Rishi a coward, among many things that she said, for not
Yeah.
saying to his family. And I'm thinking, Debbie, don't you also realize that your man is, your young man is also from a traditional country? And if it
Hmm.
came down to it, because if you weren't somebody, in my opinion, if she wasn't someone who was of a particular stature, I'm not age shaming because, you know, this is what Jen would say.
Right.
I'm not age shaming. Of a particular, I'm talking about Debbie, particular stature,
Hmm.
who they know is from America, who may have a little bit of change. If it was the opposite, let's say someone younger, I think they would have to follow traditional role too. I just think with her,
Exactly.
because of what she has to offer, they're going to let that slide to get him over there because the whole family was in on it. Apparently, she wasn't. So
Hmm.
for her to call Reese
Hmm.
Howard, I was like, she has her nerve, number one. And
Right.
two, where nobody talking to you.
For the 13th time.
Right. And so,
Right.
and so, I think that Debbie, from what we saw in Tell Part One, she wants Jen to be hooked up with her son.
She does.
Yep. So I think that she's kind of like, oh, I'm with you, Jen. You know, you're doing good, and you know, you can do better, and all this other thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when Debbie mocked Rishi when he was talking, I was like, Debbie, you are taking yourself down a
Yeah.
further and
Like,
further rabbit hole.
grow up, ma'am.
Seriously.
Grow
So,
up.
so
Did you
go ahead.
did you catch the when Sean asked Jen, has she been with anybody? Because you know, remember she said she hadn't been with nobody um since for like 2 years, and she's like, "Oh, it's been a long time or something." She
Uh-huh.
never did say, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
been that long because they haven't been. So yeah.
Well,
So.
Rishi kind of evaded the question too.
Hmm.
So I think Rishi,
Hmm.
I mean, Rishi is cute and all, and you know
Yeah.
he's a bodybuilder and he's around women because when we saw him on those episodes, he you know the exercise class with them women
Right.
and other little things. So I think you know he gets play too, just like Gabe. He may not be
Oh
doing
yeah.
nothing, but he definitely gets some play. Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Rishi feels that Jen is technically his fiance. Again, I don't understand why Jen is falling for this, but Jen did say though this was the first time she's ever been in love and vulnerable. She wasn't even in love with her first marriage, and I said, "Well, that's the
That's
problem, Jen.
weird.
Unless she was a teenage bride, maybe it was lust, you know. But anything other than
Hmm.
that, you should have some type of love for the person you're marrying,
You
right?"
would think. Yeah. You would think.
Mm-hmm. Gabe told Rishi to grow up. I was like, why are they so into Rishi and
Right.
Jen's business? Like, why are they so hell bent on Rishi growing up. Rishi's a coward. Rishi this and that. If Rishi
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to be like, hey, let's get engaged, he's not going to. He's had several opportunities. Had a little Groupon ring anyways that she lost and got another one back. And so she knows that the family doesn't want her to be around.
Mm-hmm.
So did Rishi break tradition by saying it to his family that mom and uncle, regardless of your blessing, I'm gonna marry her anyways? And mom was like, no. Mm-mm. Like why
She's
would you waste your breath? Like say that to us. You know what's up.
right.
So
He's he went back and told her, I was just kidding, psych.
I think so too. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were pressuring me. But Jen, I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about that at the end for part 3. So let's move to, why did Sean ask Jen's friends Marilyn and Randy, was there anything else left before they left the stage? First of all, they're not up here with nobody but Jen.
Right.
You're right. To me, their conversation with Jen, whatever they had to add is over. That's like asking Trey what else he had to put in. I don't care what he had to say. But they threw in comments about Osama was an ass and how Danielle carried Johan's balls in her purse. And I was like, well, I mean, okay.
Right.
That's something that most of us have seen, that he was demasculated, but I just was like, why are we asking them? But Danielle come back with the, oh, well, if he cooked and cleaned and did what he was supposed to do, I would have if he did chores and ran the house or whatever, she would cook and clean, excuse me. She would have no problem doing that. And she said, since it's not, there's no point. So Danielle is thinking, I'm taking from that she is saying that if it was more traditional, she would do that. And since Johan can't provide for her, she won't. So I didn't understand what point Danielle was trying to make by saying that. Because I'm like, you didn't make yourself look any better, Danielle. Now, does anybody else agree with that or what? Because I was like, you just blew that whole entire conversation. What'd you say, Dolores? You said, I like Johan. He is checked out. Most definitely checked out. All right, so then there was that quick scene about the bedroom and the master class with Gabe and the size. And then White Debbie was like, to Johan, you're always going to be known as a guy with a big ding dong. Johan didn't care.
Like, okay. Next.
I thought that was funny. I'm like, Debbie is clearly not with the times.
Clearly.
So anyways, they asked Debbie, no. Yeah, they asked Debbie, when was she last intimate? She don't know. She tried to remember. What she say, 12 years ago, whatever? Is that what she said, 12 years?
Yeah, I guess a night at the Casablanca was just a night.
I guess.
Yeah.
But then she said she's attracted to men her own age. She likes them.
Right.
I'm like, that's impossible.
So why are you talking to this little baby over here?
I'm like, that's impossible.
You contradicted yourself, Grandma.
Great grandma. Okay.
Great grandma. Because now you having Alzheimer's vibes. Because you forgot what you said.
Right, because they're 46 years apart, and she's been with him for 3 years. So don't sit there and say that you like seasoned men when a poem reeled you in, because she said it was that poem. You know what I'm saying? So the poem was for somebody 18 that's still technically legal. You'd be in love with them too. Make it make sense, Debbie. Exactly, Dolores. I do not believe Debbie at all. So,
and it makes me believe that what Osama was saying was true. And she just neglected to say it, or she forgot. Excuse me, or had her own agenda.
Definitely had her own agenda. Now that she more of her personality has come out. All right, so finally, Chris and Jamie. Finally, Chris and Jamie. How much time?
Chris and Jamie.
But I typed out, it said this story has been a cluster from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Chris really, in my opinion, thinks that she was Captain Sava. Captain Sava wife.
Jamie. I said Captain Sava Jamie.
Yeah. And so it picks back up by the end of the birthday party where we saw that push where Chris pushed her and everything. And Chris said, when she gets angry, she tends to black out. She yells and all this and that. I'm like, Chris, once again, you got the right one.
Yeah.
You got the right one, because anybody else probably with that, right?
Yeah.
Jamie said she felt like it was a scam. I'm like, now, Jamie, you felt like it was a scam? I was trying to figure out, how would she think it's a scam? Where do you think that she would see the scam from? Like what part? Because she got ghosted? Because Chris technically did come over to marry her. So I don't see that as a scam.
No. You should have when she ghosted you before. So it's you asked for this. Yeah. And then you was talking to the lady in Texas saying marry me. So it was like, well, whoever come is the one I'm gonna be with.
Mm-hmm.
So
excuse me. Cynthia says Debbie's a predator. You typed that a little too early, but I'll touch on it really quick, then we'll jump back. Exactly. When Debbie said that Jamie was a predator, my mouth fell to the floor. Did you clutch your pearls too? I said, excuse me? How old is Osama sitting behind you, ma'am? Miss Ma'am?
You remember that scene in Higher Learning when old boy called her the B word, and she was just like, that's how I was at work. Like, I had to rewind it. Like, did she just say that?
She did. Okay. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is nothing against anyone. I'm only speaking of Debbie. Please don't take this the wrong way. Please don't chat, replay anybody. But Debbie is showing her privilege by saying the things that she was saying on this tell-all, in my opinion. Period.
Debbie is acting. She acting real.
She was.
Yes.
And I didn't care for that.
No.
And it just wasn't one off the cuff remark. It was a few.
Yeah.
The way the tell-all, which led me to make my own personal decision about it, about Debbie, only, not about people in general. Just right. Let me make that clear for you never know.
I got you.
Who for people, how people watch things and run. So, but so Chris, thank you, Cynthia. Chris said that all she was trying to do was work, pay bills, send money back to Jamie. She worked 3 jobs. Jamie blown up her phone. She would send Jamie money. She would send her mom to have money. Blah, 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 blah. I don't believe Chris, even before the proof was shown. I don't believe Chris, just by the conversation that she had with her mother. And quick little insert here. It's not a spoiler because we're already on tell-all. Like I said, some of these things you can see on peoplemagazine.com. It was before I came on, Chris. It was a story about her. Her son that she's talking about. This was in 2022. This one is tell-all was taped last year. He was convicted of fentanyl trafficking or in possession of. That's what it was. It's in black and white, people.com. You type in 90 Day Fiancé the other way. The article will pop up. So this is not alleged. This is on the site. So, so it was serious what he was going through. And he's in his 20s, so, old enough to know better, whatever. But so Chris said that she sent over $10,000, this and that. And Jamie proved there was like only, $746. And then she was identity thefted and she had to send money through her mama. I don't think her mother would send Jamie.
My mama wasn't sending nothing.
Not a dime.
My mama was pocketing that money.
Because of what she was saying, like, oh, you're the sugar mama. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe her. I don't believe Chris, none of it. And so Chris was saying how one of the things that she talked about when she got so mad at Jamie because Jamie was cheating, she say it was from the lady in Texas, or was it like somebody else that she said 3 other people?
I know it was the lady in Texas, and I don't know who the other ones was.
Well, apparently Jamie's been out there doing whatever she's doing. But Chris said that Jamie called her so much, blown her phone up at work. She got mad. She left work and flipped her car. I said, Chris, you still sitting here without a neck brace and a back brace? Girl, what is going on? She's got the
This ain't
most.
flip nothing but her wig.
She's got the most car accidents, the most injuries, the most everything. You know,
Yes.
I mean, sometimes
Yes.
people do run into bad luck, but it just seems like with her, that's all you seem to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Mm-hmm.
Jamie didn't deny the cheating allegations, though. She just only said it was one person, but she didn't deny cheating because she said you weren't there for me for my birthday, and you weren't there for me when my grandmother passed away.
Yeah.
So
that one in Texas, and then she was probably talking to both of them at the same time, and then whoever came is the one she chose, or was the chosen one.
Okay. Cynthia says
Mm-hmm.
every time Chris turned her face to the side, she looked like the witch of the Wizard of Oz.
So Chris is all right, but when the very first episode she was on, she was like, I'm a 40-year-old woman, but I look 20. And I'm like, what mirror are you looking in? Because it's lying.
What's
because you look every bit of 50.
Listen, I'm over 50. I know she looks older than me.
But you don't even look it.
Thank you. Look, no wrinkles, no nothing. Okay.
Look,
and I got poison in my mouth.
Right. Every time you look at her, you're like, you know, the Wicked Witch dance when she on the bike.
Right. But, have you ever heard the saying like, she was wet? She was put away wet? That's her face. She was put away, like you tell, put away wet. She just never dried. Like her, she's just very, it just seems like, honestly, she looks like she's had a rough life, and it looks like whatever medication she's on has took the toll on her body, and whether health issues took a toll on her body too. But she don't look a day younger than you. 50 is generous. So it's definitely like 20
I'm just trying to be nice. Because I know Debbie don't look like she in her 60s. Debbie look every bit of 75.
Debbie looks better than Chris, though. Tell you that.
She does.
Debbie looks better than Chris.
Yeah.
And that's something. So I just want to know, when Chris was there the first time, we talked about it before, and they were trying to buy that food truck that was $20,000 and all this other different things they were trying to set up. And yes, the rent was $150 too high for Chris and Columbia, whatever. But if Chris works 3 jobs, she prides herself on jobs, cars, different things she has. What is a $400 or $500 rent extra if you're doing all this flying back and forth? You claim you're sending her $10,000+ just for rent and incidentals. What is it? Why is this apartment too high? I don't get that.
Exactly.
$150, that should be nothing. Your plane
Nothing
ticket
at
costs
all.
$150, right?
Exactly. So how much it cost when she flipped that car?
Thank you. Okay. Dolores says Chris is not telling the truth about money she sent, or how long she goes to Jamie. I agree. She's not telling the truth at all. And
not at all.
Chris, to me, comes across as I do this for you. I do this for you. So she's someone who would throw things back in your face. If you had to get like $5 for her for whatever. Remember that time I gave you $5 10 years ago? She's one of those people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be able to trust her at all. But Chris also says it's Jamie's fault that Jamie's living the life that she's living, like struggling, things like that. I'm like, how's this Jamie's fault? You married her. You agreed to this. Who put the deposit down for the apartment? So how's this all Jamie's fault? You know what I'm saying? So she just is not accepting accountability for her. That's all that is with that. And next week is the cliffhanger for part 3.
Yes.
I'm here for that. So the part 3 cliffhanger is Jamie says that she has pictures of Chris and her ex-boyfriend with naked pics and sex pics. Now, how are these people getting the phone number? That's what I want to know. First of all, who's taking these pictures and be like, you know what? Boop, 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 send them to you. Who's
Right.
doing it? And why?
So the lady in Texas found out about Chris through Instagram
Okay.
because Jamie had pictures of Chris on her Instagram, and that's when she messaged her.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, and that's how they kind of connected.
So the
So
ex
maybe, huh?
so then the ex-boyfriend, how do you think he found out? Just going through her phone?
But no, he sent them to he
Jamie.
sent those to Jamie. Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Who knows at this point? It's like the information is almost public knowledge.
Yeah, you're right about that. So next week we're gonna get the proof, and I would love
Mm-hmm.
to see Chris weasel her way out of that one because she just don't seem like she tells the truth about nothing,
No,
nothing at
nothing
all.
at all.
And so also next week we're gonna see more of Mahmoud, Nicole, and Mahmoud's brother, whatever his name is, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole now has the nerve to ask him again, why is he talking to a woman that's in China? And
Right.
again, Nicole, we know that his sister-in-law is from China. So if his
Mm-hmm.
sister-in-law is doing what she's supposed to do, why wouldn't he look in China with the help of his brother?
Exactly. Exactly.
But what Nicole say before we didn't see her again a couple episodes ago? That the lady was trying to sell him some TVs.
Yeah, a TV. Ridiculous.
I still think
You
that's
couldn't think of nothing else? A TV? We serious?
I think that is hilarious every time I think about it. Like, oh, she just
Yeah.
wanted to make me buy a TV. Oh, okay. Oh, sure. Okay, honey. Honey love bug.
Oh,
Right.
my sweetie. My
Uh,
love.
Chris again saying that she was identity thefted. Chris is full of excuses. I mean, she probably got how the song go, phone for the plug, phone for the she
Right.
got multiple phones and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Monica sitting down talking with Gabe.
I see her.
Her story.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know her story. You know what, to me, you came all the way to Columbia to see your brother get married. It doesn't matter how upset you were before you came. You was upset before you came anyways, because you wasn't
Exactly.
there for the relationship, right?
Yeah.
But you came all the way there, and because whatever you were feeling is like, oh, I'm not coming to the wedding. To me, there's nothing really that you can say that would
Mm-hmm.
make you feel any better about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that to me would
Mm-hmm.
fall under time would have to heal all wounds, because what could you possibly say?
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing
Just
at all. Other than the fact that you wanted about you.
all about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then carte blanche is Jen is backstage holding her phone, telling Rishi, if your mom ever boop, boop, boop. You know what? I also had to clutch my pearls with that, because I said to myself,
You've been like, bye.
okay, but I still said to myself, I wish somebody would tell one of my kids something crazy like that about their mama.
Mm-hmm.
You F your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really think that he can continue a relationship if someone says F your mother?
Does she know those are fighting words?
I don't know what she thought or didn't think, but I'm just saying, like, what is he supposed to think if you're disrespecting his mom?
Exactly.
And I will never touch you ever again. Okay. That alone constitutes never talking to me again.
Exactly. Yeah.
My mom, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
that also in a way shouted privilege to me. Not as much as it did with Debbie, but it did with that with Chris. Okay, and then finally, Danielle and Johan alluding to the fact that they are no longer happy and they are no longer in a relationship.
Yeah, and you see that the ex-boyfriend was there.
I'm not
Or
surprised.
lover, or yeah.
Taylor, I'm not surprised. I am not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't surprise me with Danielle. I think she's one of those that's into what's his name that's come on tonight? Valentine. Into not necessarily polygamy, but free love.
Yeah.
Danielle's one of those to me, that she would think it's okay because, you know, we're just expressing our emotions and whatever she believes in,
Mm-hmm.
she's like that. So I'm like, I don't want to like root for a divorce like that, because that's not cool to do. But these two, we know that they shouldn't have been together, because
Mm-hmm.
he's not happy. He's not in America. He's not making money. Don't make money. Don't make sense. And Danielle is not treating him like an equal or a husband or whatever. So I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
have to see.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think that's it for part 3. I think we'll have a break before the next 90-day starts. So we'll be with Love in Paradise for a week after that by itself. So, but anyways, on tonight's episode for 90-Day Love in Paradise for everyone who watches, it looks like Carlos and Valentine may have something to say.
Can't wait.
I'm excited to see if they're going to go through it. And I also was told that April and her Valentine is going to be on tonight as well.
I see that there was another, I don't know if this is a repeat or what, but I see that one of on my shows, it recorded a 90-Day Fiancé. So I don't know. And it just says 4 women travel to the U.S. to live with their fiancés for the first time.
Huh.
So I'm gonna have to look at that one and see what that is.
I'm 3 hours behind you, so it won't be on for me for like another 40 minutes. So yeah, let me know. So either way, we'll be back for Love in Paradise tomorrow night. So if you're able to join, please feel free, and we'll see if we get any more videos from Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
See what's going on with that relationship. Right. So thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too. See you in the next one.
All right, see ya. Bye.
Bye.